Chosen one, listen carefully. This message has not reached you by accident. You have been led. God has seen your struggles. He has heard your silent prayers, the ones whispered in the darkness when no one was watching. He has felt your frustration, your exhaustion, your questions. Why does life feel like a constant battle? Why does financial stability seem just out of reach? Why does it feel like every step forward comes with another setback? What if I told you that the delays were never denials, that the doors that seemed closed were not blocking you but positioning you? What if everything, the struggle, the loneliness, the hardships was never about keeping you down, but about preparing you for something greater than you ever imagined? There is something shifting around you. Can you feel it? That sense that something is coming, that something unseen is working in your favor. That is not just a feeling, it is confirmation. Your time is here. Your breakthrough has already been approved in the spiritual realm. The financial freedom you have prayed for, the abundance you have longed for, the life you were meant to live it, has already been written. The only question now is, are you ready to step into it? Stay with me, because in the next few moments I am going to reveal exactly why you have faced so many struggles, why financial hardship often follows the chosen ones, and what you must do next to finally step into the wealth and success that has always been yours. This is the moment everything changes. Are you ready? You were never meant to live an ordinary life. That is why your journey has been filled with trials, setbacks, and moments that tested your faith. But here is what most people do not understand: struggle is not a sign of failure. It is a sign of preparation. Look back at your life. How many times have you come close to a breakthrough, only for something to suddenly go wrong? How often have you felt like you were right, on the edge of financial stability, only for an unexpected expense, a missed opportunity, or a sudden setback to knock you back down? That is not just life being unfair, that is spiritual warfare. Chosen ones do not attract easy paths because easy paths do not build warriors. You have been placed in a system that was never designed for you to thrive. While others seem to flow effortlessly through life, you have always felt like you were swimming against the current, and that is because you were never meant to follow the world's ways. You were meant to break free from them. Many people misunderstand why financial struggles happen to the chosen ones. They assume that if God has called you, He will automatically provide everything with ease. But provision does not come before preparation. Before God releases the blessing, He ensures that you are ready to receive it. There are reasons why wealth has been delayed in your life, and once you understand them, everything will begin to make sense. The first reason is simple. God is protecting you from premature success. Most people think financial freedom will solve all their problems, but what they fail to realize is that money does not change. Who you are right amplifies it. If you are not spiritually and mentally ready to handle wealth, it can become a curse rather than a blessing. This is why you see people rise quickly in life, only to fall just as fast. The foundation was never there. They were handed success before they were ready for it, and as a result, they lost themselves in the process. But God does not allow that to happen to His chosen ones. If He has set wealth aside for you, He will make sure you have the character, wisdom, and discipline to manage it before He releases it into your hands. This is why you have faced delays. Not because God is denying you, but because He is ensuring that when you step into your abundance, you will not be controlled by it, you will control it. The second reason chosen ones struggle financially is because the enemy knows exactly what happens when you step into your purpose with resources. Understand this: your wealth is not just about you. It is about the impact you will make, the lives you will touch, the work you will do for the kingdom. The enemy fears what happens when chosen ones have the means to fulfill their purpose without limitations. That is why he tries to keep you in survival mode. If he can keep you struggling, stressed, and focused only on paying your bills, then you will never have the time or energy to step into the higher calling over your life. Have you ever noticed that every time you start to get ahead, something unexpected happens? Your car breaks down, a bill you forgot about appears, an opportunity falls through. It is not just bad luck. It is a targeted attack. But here is what the enemy does not want you to know: he cannot stop what God has already approved. He He can delay it, he can make it harder, but he cannot deny what has already been written for you. And if you are still here, if you are still fighting, if you are still believing even after everything that has tried to break you, then you are closer to your breakthrough than you realize. Because the third and most powerful reason chosen ones struggle financially is that you are being positioned for supernatural provision. The world chases money, the chosen attract it, but to step into that reality, you have to unlearn everything society has taught you about wealth. You have been conditioned to believe that financial success comes from non-stop work, from struggle, from competition. But in God's system, abundance flows differently. It does not come from chasing, it comes from alignment. That is why your financial journey has been different. You were never meant to follow the world's model of success. You were meant to operate in divine principles where provision comes through purpose, where resources are drawn to you because of who you are, not just because of what you do. That is the shift that is happening right now. That is why you are hearing this message, because you are stepping into a new season where financial struggles are no longer part of your identity. You are moving from survival to abundance, from waiting to receiving, from lack to overflow. And in the next moments, you are going to learn exactly how to recognize the signs that your breakthrough is already happening and what you must do next to step fully into what has always been yours. You may not realize it yet, but things are already shifting in your favor. What once felt impossible is now aligning behind the scenes. Doors that were once locked are preparing to open. And the struggles that once weighed you down are beginning to lose their grip. But here is the question, though you recognize the signs. Your financial breakthrough works the same way. Just because you do not see the evidence yet does not mean it is not already in motion. The question is not if your financial freedom is coming. The question is, are you in position to receive it? There are signs that your breakthrough has already been set in motion, signs that God is shifting things in your favor. And if you have been paying attention, you may have already noticed them. The first sign is a deep, unexplainable sense of peace even when nothing has changed yet. This is not just wishful thinking. This is your spirit recognizing what your physical reality has not yet caught up to. You may find that even in the middle of financial struggles, you feel lighter, calmer, more assured. That is not a coincidence. It is confirmation. Think about it. How many times have you faced financial stress in the past, only to later realize that everything worked out in the end, that unexpected help arrived, that doors opened when you least expected them to? This is how God operates. He never lets his chosen ones fall completely. And when you start to feel peace even in the middle of uncertainty, it is because your spirit knows what is coming. The second sign is things that once stressed you no longer have the same power over you. Where you used to panic over bills, you now have faith that provision is coming. Where you used to feel discouraged, you now feel an unshakable sense of expectation. This is not because you have figured everything out, it is because you are being prepared for a new level of living. Most people miss their breakthrough because they are still operating from the mindset of struggle. They have prayed for abundance, but they still expect lack. They have asked for a financial shift, but they are still acting as if nothing is changing. And this is where many chosen ones get stuck. They do not understand that breakthroughs happen in the spiritual realm before they manifest in the physical. Think of it like planting a seed. When a seed is buried underground, you do not immediately see results, but that does not mean growth is not happening. Beneath the surface, roots are forming, preparing to break through the soil, and when the time is right, that seed will push upward and reveal itself. Your financial breakthrough works the same way. Just because you do not see the evidence yet does not mean it is not already in motion. The question is not if your financial freedom is coming. The question is, are you in position to receive it? There are signs that your breakthrough has already been set in motion, signs that God is shifting things in your favor, and if you have been paying attention, you may have already noticed them. The first sign is a deep, unexplainable sense of peace even when nothing has changed yet. This is not just wishful thinking. This is your spirit recognizing what your physical reality has not yet caught up to. You may find that Even in the middle of financial struggles, you feel lighter, calmer, more assured. That is not a coincidence, it is confirmation. Think about it. How many times have you faced financial stress in the past, only to later realize that everything worked out in the end, that unexpected help arrived? That doors opened when you least expected them to. This is how God operates. He never lets his chosen ones fall completely. And when you start to feel peace, even in the middle of uncertainty, it is because your spirit knows what is coming. The second sign is things that once stressed you no longer have the same power over you. Where you used to panic over bills, you now have faith that provision is coming. Where you used to feel discouraged, you now feel an unshakable sense of expectation. This is not because you have figured everything out, it is because you are being prepared for a new level of living. Chosen ones are tested before they are elevated. That means learning to trust even when the situation does not make sense. It means developing faith that is not tied to circumstances, but to something greater. Because the truth is, financial struggle is never really about money, it is about mindset. It is about whether you are ruled by lack or by abundance. It is about whether you react to setbacks with fear or with confidence. And when you start noticing that the things which once had power over you no longer control you, it is a sign that your spirit has shifted. The third sign is that opportunities are beginning to appear sometimes in ways you did not expect. A new idea, a chance meeting, a door that suddenly opens. These are not coincidences. They are signs that financial alignment is already happening. But here is the key: you have to be ready to act. Many people pray for an opportunity but hesitate when it appears. They wait for something that feels safe or guaranteed before they step forward. But chosen ones do not wait for perfect conditions. They move when God says move. This is where faith meets action. You cannot just believe in abundance, you must step into it. That means trusting the nudges you receive, taking the opportunities that come, and recognizing that God does not always send blessings in obvious ways. So now, I want you to take a moment to reflect. Have you noticed any of these signs in your life? Have you felt that shift happening, even if nothing has changed outwardly yet? If this resonates with you, take a moment to declare it. Type, "I am ready," in the comments as a confirmation of your faith. Because when you acknowledge what is happening, when you align yourself with the shift that is already taking place, you step into the flow of what has already been written for you. And if you are ready for the next step, stay with me, because in the next moments, I am going to reveal exactly how to prepare yourself for the wealth, success, and abundance that is already making its way to you. Now that you understand the signs that your breakthrough is already in motion, the next step is crucial: positioning yourself to receive it. Many chosen ones unknowingly delay their blessings because they are not yet aligned with the abundance that is meant for them. They pray for financial freedom but continue to think in terms of limitation. They ask for success but hesitate when opportunities arise. You must understand, God does not withhold blessings, but if you are not prepared to receive them, they will pass you by. So how do you position yourself for the shift that is already happening? The first step is renewing your mindset about wealth. For too long, you have been conditioned to believe that financial struggle is normal, that success is only for a select few, or that money is something to fear rather than a tool to be used. These beliefs keep you trapped in a cycle of lack, no matter how much you pray for abundance. You have to start seeing money as what it truly is: a resource that, when placed in the right hands, can create impact, bring freedom, and fulfill purpose. Look at King Solomon. He was one of the wealthiest men in history, not because he chased riches, but because he asked for wisdom, and wisdom attracts wealth. The moment you shift from seeking money to seeking alignment with God's purpose, finances will begin to flow. The second step is breaking free from survival mode. Many chosen ones stay stuck in financial struggle because they never move beyond survival thinking. They focus on just getting by, just paying the next bill, just making ends meet. But survival mode is a trap. It keeps you so focused on your immediate needs that you never have the space to think beyond them. But chosen ones are not meant to live in survival, they are meant to thrive. And to do that, you must expand your vision beyond just getting by. Ask yourself, what would you do if financial struggle was no longer a part of your story? How would you serve? Who would you help? What impact would you make? When you start thinking from a place of abundance rather than lack, you begin to attract the very resources you need to step into that reality. The third step is taking action in faith. Faith is not just about believing, it is about moving. You cannot ask for breakthrough and then hesitate when the doors open. You cannot pray for financial success, but ignore the ideas, opportunities, and connections that are placed in your path. Remember, God will not do for you what you can do for yourself. He will open doors, but you must walk through them. If you feel called to start something, start it. If an opportunity presents itself, take it. If an idea keeps coming back to you, act on it. Because the moment you move in faith, you step into the flow of abundance that has already been prepared for you. And here is where I want to hear from you. What is the one thing you feel called to do but have been hesitating on? Drop it in the comments. Declaring it is the first step in stepping into it. And if this message has resonated with you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Because chosen ones are rising, and when we step into our purpose together, nothing can stop what has already been set in motion. Most people think that financial freedom is about working harder, making smarter investments, or simply having the right opportunities. But for chosen ones, the journey to abundance is completely different. It is not just about effort, it is about spiritual alignment. Have you ever wondered why, no matter how hard you try, money seems to slip through your fingers? Why, despite your intelligence, skills, and work ethic, financial success does not come as easily as it does for others? It is because you are not meant to follow the world's system of wealth. You are meant to operate under a divine system of provision, one that is not based on struggle, but on alignment. And before you can step into that level of abundance, you must first break free from the patterns that have been keeping you stuck. One of the biggest obstacles keeping chosen ones in financial struggle is the mindset of lack. You have been conditioned to believe that money is scarce, that you must fight for every opportunity, that success is reserved for a select few. These beliefs were ingrained in you from a young age, through society, through family, through experiences that reinforced the idea that financial stability is hard to attain. But here is the truth: money is not scarce, provision is not limited. The only thing keeping you from abundance is your belief that it is out of reach. Chosen ones must understand that wealth is a flow. It is energy. It moves freely to those who are in alignment with it. And the reason you have struggled is because you have unknowingly resisted that flow. You have spent years thinking in terms of just enough to get by, just enough to pay the bills, just enough to survive. But when you operate from a place of limitation, you block the very abundance that is meant for you. The moment you shift from survival thinking to abundance thinking, everything changes. You stop seeing money as something you have to chase and start recognizing it as something that is already on its way to you. This is why gratitude is so powerful. Most people think gratitude is just about being thankful for what you have, but it is more than that. Gratitude is a frequency. It aligns you with the flow of provision. Think about it. When you focus on lack, you attract more lack. When you focus on struggle, you create more struggle. But when you begin to focus on the blessings that already exist in your life, no matter how small, you shift into a state of receiving. And that is when things start to change. Opportunities begin to appear. Resources start flowing in unexpected ways. Doors that were once closed suddenly open. Because you are no longer resisting abundance, you are aligned with it. This is the lesson God has been trying to teach you all along. He has never wanted you to struggle, but He has wanted you to learn that your provision does not come from external sources, it comes from Him. When you realize this, you stop relying on money to give you security. You stop looking at your bank account to determine how blessed you are. You start seeing that everything you need is already making its way to you because it has always been yours. Now, I want to challenge you. Take a moment and reflect though. Have you been thinking about money? Have you been operating from a place of abundance or from a place of fear and limitation? If you are ready to shift, declare it. Type, "I choose abundance" in the comments. Because the moment you make that decision, the moment you choose to align yourself with what is already meant for you, you step into a new reality. And in the next part of this message, I am going to show you exactly how to take practical steps to move from struggle to overflow. So stay with me, because this is where everything begins to shift. Now that you understand the power of alignment and mindset, it is time to take action. Because breakthrough is not just about believing, it is about moving in faith. Many chosen ones stay stuck in financial struggles because they are waiting for a perfect moment to act. They tell themselves, "I will take that step when I have more money. I will invest in my purpose when I feel more secure. I will follow my calling when the time is right." But here is the truth. There is never a perfect moment. If you keep waiting for the conditions to be ideal, you will stay in the same place forever. God does not call the prepared, He prepares the called. And sometimes, that preparation begins only after you step forward in faith. Look at the story of Peter walking on water. He did not wait for the waves to calm down before stepping out of the boat. He did not wait for a clear, safe path. He moved the moment Jesus called him. And as long as he kept his focus on Christ, he defied the laws of nature. The same principle applies to your financial breakthrough. You are being called to step out, to trust that the provision you need will appear as you move, not before. So what does that look like in real life? First, stop waiting for security and start moving in obedience. If you feel led to start something, whether it is a business, a ministry, or a new path, do not wait until you have all the answers. Begin with what you have. Take the first step. Because the moment you do, new opportunities will begin to unfold. Second, release your attachment to how wealth should come. Many people block their blessings because they expect them to come in a specific way. They believe their success must come through a job, a business, or an investment. But God's provision does not always follow human logic. Sometimes, financial breakthrough comes from unexpected sources, a divine connection, a door that suddenly opens, an opportunity you never saw coming. The key is to stay open. Do not limit God by assuming He can only bless you in one way. Third, be willing to let go of what no longer serves you. Many chosen ones hold on to jobs, relationships, or environments that are keeping them in financial struggle because they fear stepping into the unknown. But what if your next level requires you to release something that is holding you back? If you feel stuck, ask yourself, is there something I need to let go of? Is God calling me to leave a situation that no longer aligns with who I am becoming? If so, trust that what is ahead is far greater than what you are leaving behind. Most people do not recognize when they are on the verge of a breakthrough. They assume that when things start to go wrong, it means they are failing. They believe that resistance is a sign to turn back. But in reality, the greatest pressure always comes right before the shift. Think about it. Why would the enemy attack something that has no power? Why would he try to delay someone who was not about to step into something significant? The fact that you have faced so many struggles, so many setbacks, is not a sign that you are losing. It is proof that you are close to some. And if you have been paying attention, you may have all. One of the biggest indicators that financial breakthrough is near is increased resistance. Suddenly, things that once felt stable start to shake. Unexpected expenses arise. Plans seem to fall apart for no reason. Opportunities that seemed certain slip through your fingers. It feels like you are being pulled backward when you are trying to move. But this is where most people make the mistake. They assume that struggle means stop. They believe that if doors are closing, it means they are on the wrong path. But chosen ones do not retreat. They do not give up when pressure increases. They push forward because they understand that resistance is a sign of progress. Another undeniable sign of transformation is divine discomfort. You may start to feel restless. The things that once satisfied you no longer do. The routines that once felt comfortable now feel restrictive. It is as if something inside you is preparing you for change, even if you do not yet know what that change is. That discomfort is a sign that you are outgrowing your current season. Look at a butterfly before it emerges. It struggles inside the cocoon, pushing against the walls, feeling confined, but that struggle is not punishment. It is the very process that strengthens its wings so it can fly. The same is happening to you. You are being stretched, not to break you, but to prepare you. And then there is the final confirmation, the increase in spiritual signs and divine alignment. You start noticing repeating patterns, seeing the same numbers, hearing the same messages, feeling drawn to the same scriptures. Doors begin to open in unexpected ways. Divine connections begin to form. It feels like something is aligning, even if you cannot fully explain it. These are not coincidences, they are confirmations. And now, the question is, will you respond? Will you allow resistance to make you retreat, or will you recognize it as a sign that your breakthrough is already in motion? Will you ignore the discomfort and stay where you are, or will you trust that you are being called to something greater? If you are ready to claim what has already been set in motion for you, take this moment to affirm it. Type, "I will not give up" in the comments, because your words carry power. Your declaration activates movement in the spiritual realm. And if this message has spoken to you, share it. Let others who are facing the same struggles know that they are not alone. The shift is already happening. The question is, are you ready to step into it? When you finally break free from old patterns, from survival thinking, from the limitations that have kept you stuck, something incredible happens. You step into the flow of divine provision. This is the moment where struggle ends, not because life suddenly becomes easy, but because you are no longer fighting against the process. You have aligned yourself with what was meant for you all along. But here is something most people do not understand: abundance is not a destination, it is a way of being. Many people believe that financial breakthrough is about finally arriving at a place where they never have to worry again. But true abundance is not about escaping challenges, it is about knowing that no matter what happens, you will always be provided for. Look at the story of Elijah. When he was in the wilderness, God sent ravens to feed him. When the brook dried up, God led him to a widow who had just enough oil and flour to sustain them. At every stage, provision was there, but it required trust, obedience, and the willingness to move when God said move. Your financial breakthrough will not come because you force it. It will come because you step into a life where you no longer doubt that you are taken care of. And that is the shift that changes everything. When you no longer operate from fear, you start making different choices. You stop playing small. You stop settling. You stop thinking in terms of just enough and start thinking in terms of overflow. Because you were never meant to just survive, you were meant to thrive. You were never meant to struggle forever, you were meant to be a blessing to others. And now, it is your time. If this message has spoken to you, if you feel something shifting inside you, take a moment to share your thoughts. How has this resonated with you? What shift are you ready to make? Your words might be exactly what someone else needs to hear today. And if you know someone who is struggling right now, someone who needs to hear this message, share it with them. Because chosen ones are rising, and when we step into our purpose together, nothing can stop what has already been set in motion.